Oh, for sure. I mean, what I really set out to do in every episode was to, in earnest, create a life-changing journey. I know that sounds cheesy, but that's kind of the premise of the show. Every episode, I travel with someone in my life, and we have some big question that we both share. And so the stakes are generally pretty high in each episode. We go to Mexico with my parents to one of the hottest retirement spots for expats. And that episode is about retirement and what do the three of us want together during this limited time that we have left together. That was an urgent question in my life. It still is, as someone who's a new father and and on the other side of 40, realizing our mortality, also realizing what it means to really be a parent and how much you really love your kids, realizing my parents feel that same way about me and wanting to pay them back for that. And then we went to Japan for another episode, my wife and I, and this is one of the most innovative countries in the world, and they're known for extremely disciplined, well-disciplined children. So my wife and I went there to have conversation about parenting, and ultimately that conversation evolved into one about marriage, because marriage is where the decisions get made. That's an urgent question because that's the newest thing in my life, and I really want to get it right. Went to South Korea, and this is where we laid in caskets. My friend Matt and I, who like me is an entrepreneur, like me is a workaholic, and is kind of work hard, play hard all the time. A lot of people these days are overscheduled. We have too many choices with every minute of the day, and as a result, we're never really happy with what we have. We always feel like we don't have enough. uh, Matt and I went to a country where they're facing that on an institutional level. And as a result, there's high levels of depression and suicide. And they're having to do all these things to get people to work less and to see the bigger purpose in life. One of those things is something called the Death Cafe, which is what you were alluding to, I think. It's a place that literally says Cafe on the floor, on the door, and you walk into this place, you pay, you wait in line while you write your own eulogy. Then eventually the Grim Reaper comes. This is a man dressed in a Grim Reaper costume, walks you into a room full of caskets. You lay down, they close the door, you lay in your own casket for 10 minutes, and then when you get up, you read your own eulogy that you wrote. And when you read your own eulogy, you realize nobody talks about the work you did. Nobody talks about anything other than how you made them feel. And it really reframes how you want to spend the time that you have living. It was a life-changing adventure. And then the final episode, we went to Denmark with one of my Muslim buddies who, um, uh, like me, grew up brown in America. And, like me, thought Denmark, only knew Denmark for being one of the happiest countries in the world. But it turns out it's not so great if you're an immigrant or a refugee. And that was an episode where it turns out, it's really about otherness. And I was excited to make that one because it's an urgently American issue.